Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Thursday, October 9th. How's everyone doing? It's a cold day here in Chicago. This morning, it was like 48 degrees when I went for my walk. I had to put on like my thermal stuff at this point. It's been pretty cold, but still got my walk in, still did the routine, just try to stay warm. Hopefully, for some of you, if you are experiencing cold weather at this point, you are staying warm as well. Before I continue, Maggie, May, Mandla, Kevin, Ian, Deja, Elmatis, hello. Megan, how's it going? Cap Rising, Tanya, Gloria, Janet, Uncle Reggie, Margaret from Facebook, Happy Bunny, Tanisha, Ronnie, Babita, Martha, Shauna, Fran, Miss Peaceful One, hello. Nice to see you all. Cap Rising says, it's cold here too, having a freeze tonight. I'm not used to the cold. It's been a minute. Peace to all. How are you? Nice to see you. Hello. So, how's your day going? How was yesterday? How many of you got through your fasts? If you didn't, how many of you were able to keep your diet in check? And if that wasn't the case, how many of you are still showing up, sharing your accountability? This is an accountability live stream. This is a place for us to share how we're doing, whether good or bad. Remember that, whether good or bad. Many of us can show up when we're doing well. Many of us will show up when we're doing well. Because why not? We're motivated, the scale's moving down, we're doing the things we're supposed to be doing. But on the flip side, when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, when we're pretending it never happened, when we're forgetting about our own responsibilities, it's not as easy to show up. And I'm telling you, that is probably the most important time to show up, because here on these live streams, I want you to share the good and the bad. That's literally what I've been doing now for the last 77 days, I believe, as I've been live streaming every day. I'm not just showing up when I'm doing well. I show up when I overeat. I show up when I don't get all my steps in for the day. I show up when I'm not even feeling it. If I'm being honest with you right now, I'm feeling a little tired. There was a part of me that was like, I don't really want to stream today, but I know that it's important for me. I know that it's important to be accountable in that way. And so I told myself, it doesn't matter. If you're tired, just show up, just share your stats, talk to other people, and then move on about your day. But you don't have to completely go off routine when it comes to that. So I'm going to scroll back up here, and I encourage many of you who are here, if you've never shared your accountability, feel free to do so. It might be the first step that you need to take to start realizing, okay, I get it now. The journey isn't just about fasting forever, eating the cleanest forever, but the journey is just getting through the day, talking about the day, figuring your shit out. And we're going to take some time and do that right now. Kevin says here, I was going to be so busy and have a fun and active end of week with friends in town, Legoland Friday, then a fall music costume recital, to 3 sick kids and everything canceled. That's just a flip of a switch of going from 100 to 0. We've been working on this recital for 3 months. Hope they can get over sinus issues by Saturday night. Hopefully they can, Kevin. Kevin also says, though, these things were part of the stresses I had at the beginning of the week, and now none of that stress mattered. Just a reminder, Worry is just a dress rehearsal of what might never happen. And this is a really good thing to point out because it also shows, when I look at that, the psychological effect of us reacting to stress and how we cope with it. Some of us cope with stress through food. I'm sure many of us are in here right now because we use food to cope, whether it be work stress, stress in your family life, stress in pretty much any category of life. For me, I got stressed out when I made the decision to move out of the country. And because of that decision and realizing how many things I had to do before I had to move, it overwhelmed me. And I found myself eating to cope. And not only just eating, but ended up gaining almost 30 pounds in 5 weeks. I did put some good habits into place, and I was able to fast every now and then and get some control, because gaining 30 pounds in 5 weeks might sound like a lot to some people, but for me, I stretched that time out. I could probably put on 30 pounds, I would say, in a matter of maybe less than a week, knowing how bad my habits can be. And so when I talk about imperfect consistency, doing something imperfect but consistent and being accountable, I know that it's those two things for me personally that keeps me in check. It reminds me that you can't fall off completely as long as you show up and as long as you are imperfectly consistent. For me, at least. But I'm starting to realize that this is also very true to so many other people as well. Deja says, hi, day 4 for me, doing a dry fast today and hopefully tomorrow. Good luck to you, Deja. Down to 171. I'm feeling so cranky and irritable. I want food. My mind is trying to rationalize any reason to eat. I feel crazy. Well, number one, you're not crazy. Number two, especially, well, here's the thing. It's different for people who dry fast. I think results, cravings, it's different, because for me, when I think about dry fasting for an extended period of time, I feel like I'd probably get hungrier sooner because I can't have my black iced coffee, or I can't have a Diet Coke if I wanted to curb the cravings. Although there are other people that I've talked to who dry fast who say that when they dry fast, they get less cravings. They don't feel hungry at all. So I'm sure that varies from person to person. For me, especially when I'm fasting for a longer period of time, that's where I usually will end up watching people eat on YouTube. For some reason, psychologically, that helps me get through a longer fast. You'll have to keep us posted, Deja. Well, Deja says here, I go through the you can eat today, then start ADF or eat today, then fast again tomorrow, when I said I would be sticking to OMAD and no longer making up fasts, but my fasting brain tries, or my fasting brain is getting to me. And so are you trying to rationalize with yourself? Is that what you're saying, Deja? Are you trying to negotiate with yourself saying you can eat today and then start ADF, or eat today, fast again tomorrow, when you said you would be sticking to OMAD? I mean, that negotiation is the hard part for many of us, because that's when the food noise enters, especially when we're in the middle of a fast, because I've been there where I'm even just trying to get through one day fasted, especially at the very beginning of my journey. And in my head, I'd be like, but if I could just, maybe I'll just have, when in reality, I'm not physically hungry, maybe physically hungry, but I know I had enough body fat to get me going. And it probably took a lot of convincing myself, convincing my brain that I could keep moving on. My only advice here is if you find yourself in the position when it's time to break or you can't go any longer and it's time to break, that you still take the steps to keep it as clean as possible or keep it as controlled as possible, and then continue on with your journey. You've already done so much. You've continued with your progress. So I feel like no matter what happens, you know that the journey continues. Thank you for sharing with us, Deja. Maggie says, I wasn't supposed to break until Friday, but my emotions got the best of me yesterday. I started with a tablespoon of butter, then some bone broth, and then kept going. So, number one, you're here and you shared and you were vulnerable for that. And I appreciate that transparency. It's not easy to share something like that. Most people who would go through this wouldn't even admit to it at all. So kudos to you, Maggie. You're also aware that you were emotionally triggered. Were you truly physically hungry? Maybe, maybe not. But it also sounds like you tried to at least keep it at bay by keeping it clean, by trying something like butter, trying something like bone broth. And then when you say and kept going, I'm wondering, when you kept going, did it stay clean or did it go off the rails? Either way, it sounds like to me, though, this is something that might happen every now and then. But the hope is that if it did happen and it went completely off the rails, that it continues to happen less and less because you are putting good habits to use. You are telling your brain, it cannot be like this every time. If this happens, I will do this. I will be accountable. I will share. And sometimes it's just something as small as that, where some people might even listen to this and they're like, that's ridiculous. Why would being accountable help in that way? Because look at what happened here. No, the entire point of this is realizing that taking small steps to make changes can be the turning point in figuring out your journey, in evolving your journey. That's exactly what helped me. When I was struggling, I said I was struggling. On other days that I struggled and I didn't want to be accountable, that's when I found myself really going off the rails. It's different for everyone. Keep sharing with us, Maggie. Proud of you for letting us know and telling us where you're at. Ian says, I started my timer at 3 p.m. I stopped it an hour later and ate chicken nuggets. I've been there before. And Ian, I'm sure you're not the first. How many of us have been here? We started our timer after eating, and then a couple hours later, we're like, yeah, but maybe I can, and then succumb to something else. But also, it sounds like it doesn't sound that bad. You had chicken nuggets. It doesn't sound like you went crazy after that. To be fair, though, I had a very light lunch. Pretty sure my calories are under 2,000 for the day. So I look at that as a win. You kept pushing on. I'm sure after that, you hit your timer, right? And just kept moving. Thank you for sharing with us, Ian. Mandla says here, at the beginning of the refeed, I was great about weighing my food and counting my calories. However, I went out shopping and temptation was everywhere. I have not been able to calculate the extras. So, Mandla, are you saying that after your refeed, you went out, you ended up getting more food or eating more, but you weren't able to calculate the calories? It's hard when you're going out and calculating calories. I am very loose counting my calories when I go out. If I'm usually out and I don't have a scale because I'm not going to be carrying a scale, I usually do something called the 250 rule, where if I order something, let's say I order a plate of food, let's say it's a slice of pizza, and I'll look at that pizza and I'll be like, is this 250 calories? And then I'll look at it and I'll be like, there's no way. Then I just add 250. Is this 500 calories? And maybe it's 350, maybe it's 400, but for estimation's sake, And because I like to overestimate, I'll be like, well, I know that it's at least 500 calories, but it's not more than that. And then I mark it and I'm done for the day. I was aware of it. I didn't pretend I didn't eat it. I didn't go blind, right? Thinking that, you know what? Let's just forget I had this. So maybe that's all it takes for you. Because even for you, Manla, what it might mean is maybe even just taking a picture of the food that you ate so that you remember what you had, and then you make a guesstimate, and then you move on and you figure it out. Thank you for sharing, though. I know it's hard to be in that position where you get tempted, you succumb to eating whatever is around you, but I think that's all of us. All of us get in that position. And I think for many of us, it's just a matter of, okay, what happens next? What do we do now? Can we still hit a timer? Can we still be mindful about what we ate? Can we still be at least aware of what we ate, even if it wasn't what we were supposed to be eating? That's why, even for me, I record everything because I don't want to pretend it didn't happen. Not everyone has to do that, but for me, that accountability, it's really paramount to my success. Almadas shares accountability check. I fasted 21 hours yesterday. Today, I fasted 7 hours already. It's much better, less hunger. I tell myself I'll do even better next time. Thank you for sharing with us, Almadas. That's great. I love that. Congrats on getting 21 hours fasted, knowing that, okay, time to move on to the next day, see how well we do there. That's a great way to look at it too. Megan, 9 days into her 21-day fast. Feel great again today. I got my 30 minutes of elliptical in. Congrats on 9 days, Megan. I mean, I was going to say, how are you feeling? But you said you feel great. I love that for you. You'll have to keep us posted on the 21 days. I can't remember. Have you shared that with us? Or is this the first time you're sharing with us? Maybe you have. I just forgot or didn't notice, but congrats on 9 days in. Also, remember, if at any point you're feeling off, if you can't function like a normal human being, meaning you can't roll out of bed, you can't perform your work, you can't do what you need to do. If you have to break, break. No shame, no guilt, no embarrassment. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to discourage you from breaking a long fast. I just want you to understand that some days it might not be where it needs to be, but I would love to see you get through 21. Please keep us posted, Megan. Congrats on getting so far in. I love that for you. Deja says here, I have a big dinner party this weekend. I'll be prepping a lot of food and desserts tonight. Wish me luck. I'm genuinely nervous. I'm going to crack. I feel very lucky in this regard because I don't really have to prepare food for anyone but myself. So for you to be in this position, and I'm sure many other people who are in here can relate. How many of you cook for others? How many of you cook for your spouse or your partner or your kids while you're trying to fast? If anything, share that in chat. How are you able to get through that? I've worked with people who deal with this exact same thing. And sometimes what they tell me is they'll cook foods for their kids or their partner or whoever, and they'll cook foods that they normally don't like eating because that way, and of course, it's maybe foods that, whoever they're cooking for, they enjoy, but they'll do that because then it's more of a deterrent from actually eating that. Deja, keep us posted. You don't have to crack, but I also don't know what kind of temptation that's like actually handling food. It's different for me. I can be around food, I can watch other people eat, but if I'm actually touching food and it's different. I've never really been in that type of position. Happy Bunny says, hi, so glad I made it today. Nice to have you here. Day 11 and making some progress. I'm assuming that says making. I'm making a smoothie. It tastes horrible, but I tried. What kind of smoothie are you making that it tastes horrible? Usually, if I'm just using milk and fruits and protein powder, I'm pretty good. Usually it tastes okay for me. Congrats though. 11 days in, imperfect consistency. I mean, I've been reading your messages for a bit now. And I remember at the very beginning, it was initially a struggle. Like, I don't know if I can, I'm not sure if I can. And here you are now, starting to really practice imperfect consistency, do things for yourself, like prepare your own meals. And eventually you'll get better at it. That's the whole point of this. I love that for you, Happy Bunny. Almadas asks, how much food for protein? It's really obscure. If I calculated correctly, I should eat at least half a kilo of chicken to get my protein. It seems so strange. So this is going to depend from person to person. For me, I try to have at least 190 grams of protein if I'm eating about 3,000 calories. If I were to eat more often and let's say eat about 22 to 2,400 calories every day, my protein wouldn't be 190. It would probably be something a lot less, but it would probably still be somewhere above 100. This is sometimes a wake up call for people who have very, very low protein when they refeed. I'm not saying that everyone needs to have as much protein as I am. Usually the rule is, I think the standard for people who are active or are trying to keep muscle or build muscle is to have about 1 gram of protein per your goal weight. So if my goal weight is 130 pounds, I should be having at least 130 grams of protein. But I've seen numbers as low as 0.7, 70% of what your goal weight is. So I can't do the math, but let's say your goal weight is 100 pounds, which is, I know, very light, but I'm just trying to, for math's sake, if you're 100 pounds, the minimum is to get at least 70 grams of protein. So sometimes it could be even lower than that. Almadas, even for you, if that number is, let's say, 150 and you're normally only eating 40 or 50 grams, maybe the real goal is to just do 75 or 60 and just start moving it up. And then it's actually to start looking at foods that are higher in protein. For me, it's one of the reasons I eat, when I start my refeeds, you'll see me eat vegetables, but you'll see me eat things like cottage cheese because it's high in protein. You'll also see me eat meat first without the rice. I am usually eating protein first without the rice because it's an easier way for me to get more protein in, because I know what I usually do. If I wasn't eating protein at the very beginning, what ends up happening is I will get a huge bowl of rice. I will get some meat, but then I'll just get more rice and more rice. And so that is my way of combating it, because it's so easy to get a lot of non-nutrient dense foods. It's easy to eat a bag of chips. It's easy to eat a whole package of cookies. It's different trying to eat a lot of chicken breast or a lot of turkey or a lot of beef, a lot of fish. So that's why I usually will try to get the protein, the majority of it, in the beginning. Again, you don't have to do what I do. Anyone watching this, you don't have to do how I do it. I'm just trying to provide tips for people to use if it's helpful for you. And if you're wondering, why do I eat so much protein? Because protein is the macronutrient I really prioritize. I want to make sure that I maintain or continue to build muscle. The more muscle I have, the better it is for my metabolism. The higher my metabolism is, the more calories that I burn at rest. The more calories I burn at rest means the more fat that I lose. The more calories that I burn at rest also gives me the opportunity to eat more calories. Protein also burns more calories while your body digests the food over fat and carbs. A lot of pros when it comes to protein. Hi, Fran. Howdy from Utah. Nice to see you. I think I forgot to say hi, or maybe I did. Uncle Reggie, 91 hours into my 96-hour fast. Congrats, Uncle Reggie. I love that. Not going to lie, it's definitely turning into a 92-hour fast because I want to have a year ASAP. Uncle Reggie, enjoy your refeed. Enjoy the refeed. Congrats on getting 91 hours into it. I know we haven't really talked about what your fasting regimen looks like. Have you done something this long before? Maybe you have. Maybe you've mentioned it, but congrats on getting 91 hours in. Speaking of people who are that high into a fasting regimen, Miss Peaceful One, 88 hours in. Congrats. I mean, we were just talking yesterday and Miss Peaceful One was at 64 yesterday. So just another 24 hours in. I'll be breaking this evening. Also, enjoy your refeed. I love that for both of you. Congrats. Congrats. Tommy, how's it going, Tommy? We're all on fall break from school and football, so I'm not tripping about how long I fast for these 4 days. Gonna hit my timer whenever I can. Hashtag imperfectly fasting and relaxing. Enjoy the time off, Tommy. This is a really good example of pushing hard when you can and taking a break when you need to as well. So Tommy's on fall break right now, still going to be mindful, still going to be aware. I mean, the fact that Tommy's here right now on this live stream and not just on the couch eating a bag of chips, watching my live stream, although I know people do that. But giving yourself grace is really important too. So I love that for you, Tommy. Keep us posted on your journey. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you here. Cap Rising shares broke my ADF at almost 44 hours. Congrats, Cap Rising. Broke with fast food. Not good. I'm wondering, was that planned? Did that happen just out of the blue, or did you actually have a meal planned but haven't had fast food since August 30th? You haven't had fast food for over a month? That's amazing. Congrats. I'm considering it a win. Definitely a win. We'll have a salad and some veggies, then hit the timer. Congrats. Congrats. And again, when it comes to imperfect consistency, to know that you can have these every once in a while is a win. It's not like I'm sitting here saying, congrats on everyone for not doing what you say or not doing what you said you were going to do. It's not that at all. I think too many of us beat ourselves up for trying to do something too perfect, trying to push too hard, when in fact, the journey is also learning about how to balance things out. And even if it's not completely balanced, to accept the fact that some days aren't going to be the best, but what happens after that? Will you still make good choices? Will you still get a workout in? Will you still hit your timer like Cap Rising will? Congrats on a 44-hour Cap Rising. Look forward to seeing what your journey continues to look like moving forward. Hi, Sydney. It's going. Nice to see you, Sydney. Welcome. Hi, Randall. Hello, hello. I love that, Margaret. Margaret says, I hear you. I have a problem with stress eating. I've gotten a lot better since I've been following you. And huge win. I mean, even something like that. And I say it like this, like it's a small deal, but in reality, many of us, we use food to cope. We use food as a coping mechanism for stress. And even just getting better at that, making small changes. Because think of it like this. Let's say that you get stressed out with work 4 days a week. Let's just say that. And every 4 days during the week, you stress eat. You might not even realize it. You might be grabbing pizza at lunch because it's quick, it's easy, it's convenient, it's a quick dopamine hit. And you do it every single time, 4 times a week. Or maybe it's pizza, then burgers, then gyros, and then something else. But imagine if during each week, when you stress eat 4 times a week, that one day out of the week, it doesn't go there. It becomes a healthy choice. That is kind of snapping out of your habit. And then maybe another week down the road, you don't even eat. Or you eat the lunch that you prepared at home. Actually, this is a really good question. I'm curious, and I'll read through this later in chat. Are there some of you who, and I've been guilty of this, I will try to make a lunch at home before going to work. I'll prepare something good and healthy. I'll bring it to work. And then when I bring it to work, I don't even eat it. I just end up ordering fast food or ordering delivery. And then that lunch is just sitting in the fridge. And of course, I'll take it home because I feel guilty. And I'm like, well, I can't leave it here. And then it goes to waste. I've done that. I've been very guilty of that. That's a really bad habit that I used to do quite often when I would try to make good choices. But I guess at the same time, even as I think about it, at least I still tried to make that decision. I just know that I think I was preparing foods at the time that were too clean, that were not even that palatable, that I wanted to enjoy it. It was too clean in a way that it couldn't be sustainable. It couldn't be a long-term thing. Happy Bunny says, I couldn't keep my fast today, so I tried to make a smoothie as a healthier alternative rather than all or nothing. That's great. That's great. I still haven't made it to the gym. My routine is so hard. My routine is so hardwired, it's challenging. So even when you say this, Happy Bunny, because I remember you shared this, that you joined a gym and you still haven't gone. What if it meant just going there and checking in and doing one machine, even if it just meant for 10 minutes, or doing one set on a machine, or if it meant stepping on the treadmill for 10 minutes, because that is how you start to change the hardwiring in you and just making it a regular thing. And it doesn't have to be every day during the week. And it doesn't have to be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It can be, but this is what I mean. If you paid for a membership and you know that, one, you have the time to do it, and two, you have the resources to go and do it, I guess I'm just wondering what's stopping you, right? You'll have to keep us posted when you get into the gym. Kirsty says, hi, fasting fam. I'm on hour 45 of a 72. Congrats on the 45. I had some pickle juice. Did that break my fast? I think this is going to depend on whoever wants to answer this question, but Kirsty, don't even worry if it's going to technically break it in that way. If that is able to push a prolonged fast, you are in a severe caloric deficit. You can always clean this up later. If one day you don't want pickle juice, then you don't have to. But if it's helpful for you to keep pushing, keep going. Now, I'm sure people want to know scientifically, does it technically? I don't know for sure. But all I know is if your goal is to get weight on the scale down, if your goal is to lose excess body fat, do it. Why not? I don't see anything wrong with that. Keep us posted, Kirsty. Keep us posted. Okay, everyone, I know there's so many other people chatting in here, and I wish I could go through everything, but I have to go through my own as well. I do see Jason saying, I'm down 50 pounds since the start of the year. Thanks for the inspiration. You're very welcome. I'm glad I can be inspiring. Congrats, Jason. I'm 50 pounds down. I love that for you. Keep us posted. Let us know how you're doing. Show up here. Thank you, Jason, for sharing. Eric, how's it going? Damn, that's one nice hat, Jerome. I have one just like it. Eric, thank you for ordering a hat. It's on this side. This is the Finally Fasting hat. You can go to finalyfasting.com if any of you are interested. Nice to see you, Eric. Nice to see you. Roberto says, hi all, don't have much time, but finished my 20 hours today. Congrats, Roberto. Had one meal and now into my next, I'm assuming that's 20 hour. Congrats on doing the 20 hour, Robert or Roberto. Let's see you do it again. Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Okay, everyone, I know there's so much in here, and I will try to maybe read through other chats on here, but I do need to get into the nerd stats. So let's take some time. Let's get into it. Today is, I can't get the screen up because it's always annoying in this way. Here we go. Today is Thursday, October 9th, 2025. Today is day 704 of my fasting journey, but it's not just my fasting journey. It's my health and wellness journey. It's my weight loss journey. It's just being accountable journey, showing up journey. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Has it been a perfect 704 days? Of course not. That's why I talk so much about imperfect consistency, because a lot of this is just making sure that I show up and do what I have to do. Good days, bad days, I continue to show up. In the last 78 days, okay, so I've been live streaming now for 78 days in a row. I thought it was 77. In the last 78 days, I have done a mix of fasts, long fasts, short fasts. I've had days where I've eaten 2,500 calories, 5,000 calories, 7,500 calories, even some days where I eat close to 10,000 calories. But despite short fasts, long fasts, big, heavy eating days, and lighter eating days, I've continued to keep the weight off. And not only that, I'm at a place right now where my weight is really starting to push itself down. And it's not because I'm fasting for 4 days in a row like I used to. It's not because I'm having 6,000 calorie refeeds, although I still have them from time to time. But a lot of it is because I have learned to evolve in my journey. I have learned to optimize my fasting routine, the way I eat, the way I exercise. A lot of this has evolved over time. Most of my fasts over the last 78 days has been ADF. You'll see 9 rounds of ADF, 4 rounds of ADF in a row, 13 rounds of ADF in a row. And I'm back into it again. Obviously, I've been at this for a lot longer than 78 days. In the last 703 days, it's how I lost 80 pounds in less than 5 months. It's how I pushed really hard at the beginning. And over time, it's gone from 93 hours of fasting to about half that time. Currently, over the last almost 2 years, my fasting average is around 49 hours, just a little over 2 days. My last 10 refeeds, it's a mix. Some days, 5,000, 6,000 calories. Other days, somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000, which is the sweet spot for me, which is a really good caloric limit for me to be at as I eat every other day. If we look at my refeed weights and my fasted weights, you'll notice what's highlighted in red is the weight I gain after a refeed. Take a look at this. If you look at just all the weights on here, it's all under 150 at this point. I have kept my weight now around low 140s to high 140s. I've had a lot of weight stability, but you'll notice after a refeed, I'll gain 4, 5, 6 pounds. Did I gain 4, 5, 6 pounds of fat? No, of course not. Absolutely not. It doesn't work that way. For me to gain 4, 5, 6 pounds of pure fat, I would have to be eating tens of thousands of calories. How do I know that it's not pure fat? Because if you look at where it's highlighted in green, after a 24 plus hour fast, I'll lose 4, 5, 6 pounds. If you look at the very last bullet, I ate 3,800 calories. I gained 6.2 pounds. And then this morning, after fasting for a little over 24 hours, I'm back down to 141.2. Here's what I'm really happy about, because if you look at these nerd stats, you'll notice that the weight is starting to really push itself down now. If I go back on my sheet and I look at my fasted weights, it was somewhere around the higher 140s to the mid 140s. And now if you look at my last 3 fasted weights, 141.2, 140.4, 142.2, 142.6. It's nice to see the downtrend. And a lot of it is because I am tracking and I am making sure that I'm staying within my caloric limit and continuing to be at a caloric deficit. But I'm going to share that in a minute as well. Over my last 36 refeeds, I have been eating for around 5 hours. My average calories is still over 4,000. But even at over 4,000 calorie refeeds, I continue to push down in weight. My average protein per refeed, 210 grams. Prioritizing protein, keeping protein high. It's more than just fasting. I say it every single day, but this is obviously a fasting channel, but this is so much more than just fasting. You have to get it out of your head that your journey isn't just about a prolonged fast forever. Eventually, you will have to do shorter fasts. Eventually, you will have a social outing. You will get invited to a party. You will go on vacation. You will have a bad day where maybe you will cope with food. And that's where your other weight loss levers come into play. What are weight loss levers? Weight loss lever is your fasting. Weight loss lever is the way you eat. Your weight loss lever is how long you refeed for. A weight loss lever is your cardio. Your other weight loss lever is your strength training, your sleep, your emotional mental state. These are all weight loss levers that you need to continue working on outside of just fasting. In the last 78 days, as I have been tracking, my daily step average is still close to 16,000. Yesterday's step count was over 16,000. I'm way above goal here. My goal is to just average 12,800 steps a day. Now, does it mean that you have to take as many steps? It doesn't. But you shouldn't ignore cardio. Cardio is good for your heart health. Cardio is a good way to just be active and get a couple more calories to burn. Cardio is also just a good way for mental relief. I can't tell you when I go for my walks how therapeutic that is for me. It's my time away from everything. It's just my time to get moving, not worry about everything that I need to do for the day, just kind of relax. It's helpful for me. It also doesn't mean that you have to walk. Go for a bike ride. Go for a swim. Play a sport, whatever that might be. It's also the reason that strength training is big for me. I am, at this point, a really avid fan of lifting weights. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy going to the gym. It's fun for me. It's weird. I have like these calluses on my hand. I mean, you probably can't see it here, but I have these calluses and it's like they've been here for a while now and I've never had them before because I used to never lift weights. And for some reason, I kind of have it as like a badge of honor, as in like I put the work in. I don't know. I enjoy it. Anyway, moving on. I practice something called the 80-20 rule, which means that 80% of the time I'm on my game. 80% of the time I am fasting, or if I am refeeding, I am keeping my calories in check. 80% of the time I am getting my steps in. 80% of the time I'm at the gym lifting weights. In the last 78 days, I have had 65 80% days where my average calories are just a little over 3,000. And if you look at my 20% days, my 20% days are days where I'm going out with friends. I'm having a couple beers. I'm drinking some whiskey. I'm eating 2 or 3 slices of cheesecake. I'm grabbing a burger at a fast food joint. I'm eating whatever I want. If you look at my 20% days, I average close to 6,000 calories on my 20% days. That's a lot of calories. But also look at how often that happens. In the last 78. In the last 78 days, I have only had 13 20% days. That means that so far for every month, for every 30 days of the month, I'm only having those 20% days 4 or 5 times during the month, which is maybe once a week. But it also allows me to have mental relief. It's a day where I don't have to track as hard calorie-wise. I don't have to worry about keeping my calories in check. I don't have to worry about getting all my steps in for the day. That's what I consider 20% days. You don't have to even do it that way. You don't have to follow that. That's just something that I do because it's a good way for me to balance. You also don't have to do 80-20. It could be 90-10. It could be 70-30. It could be 65-35. But I would say if it's 65-35, your calories probably can't be that crazy on your 35% days. At the end of the day, it's still a balancing act. Andy asks, what app do you use to track your daily steps? I just use my Apple Watch. So I just use the health app on my iPhone. There are so many other things that track that, but my Apple Watch is pretty good for me. I don't really have any complaints. I am thinking about getting an Oura ring though, because I need something to track my sleep. I don't really like wearing my watch when I sleep, but maybe I just need to change the band because this is a metal band. And so, but that's all I use. I don't use anything that special. And this is an old watch. This is like 3 or 4 years old at this point. Nerd stats, refeed goals. So my refeed goals are pretty simple. It's just to keep my calories under 3,000 and it's to keep my protein above 190 grams of protein. If you look at the bottom here, I have been able to achieve those refeed goals 3 times in a row. But then on the 4th of October, I had a 20% day. And then on Tuesday, 2 days ago, I wasn't able to hit that, but I also didn't go crazy. So that was when I ate 3,800 calories. So somewhere in the middle. Today, no different. Today, I'm going to aim for under 3,000 calories and to have over 190 grams of protein. But if I go over 3,000 calories, if I eat over 3,000 calories tonight, does it mean that I failed? Does it mean that I should give up? I should not go to the gym the next day. I shouldn't go for my walk the next day. Does that mean if I eat over 3,000 calories and let's say I'm at 3,200, I should just go order a pizza because why not? Let's just throw the day away. You all know the answer to this. I bring these situations up because this is what I used to do for myself. I used to be so perfect in making sure that everything was done in a perfect way that the moment that it wasn't, I would just say, well, the hell with this. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just start tomorrow. You don't see that in me anymore. I'm not going to say today's day 704, but you know what, everyone, I ate 50 extra calories, so let's start over tomorrow. There's none of that anymore at this point. So I'm going to share this because yesterday, I know that it was a little confusing to share something that I have been setting out for myself. I have been giving myself a goal for October. My goal for October is very simple. It's not a fasting goal. It's not to fast for a certain amount of time every day. Although I'm still fasting. I'm currently fasting right now. I mean, as we're having this conversation, or I'm talking to all of you, if I can get the app posted up here, I am currently almost 40 hours fasted. 39 hours and 45 minutes, 46 minutes almost. So it's not like I don't have fasting goals. I mean, my goal is to still fast and use it as my foundation, but my real goal for the month of October is to drop 3 pounds of body fat. Does it mean I'm trying to lose 3 pounds on the scale? No. It's not that I'm trying to lose 3 pounds on the scale. I'm trying to lose 3 pounds of body fat. Jerome, how do you know you're going to lose 3 pounds of body fat? I'm just using a caloric deficit. A pound of fat is roughly 3,500 calories. So 3 pounds of body fat is about 10,500 calories. And that's my goal for the month of October, is to put myself on a 10,500 calorie deficit for the month of October. So here's a new way to look at my nerd stats. I made this to show you what this looks like. Every day, it's still calories in, calories out. And you'll see on this chart, my calories in total. So on October 1st, I ate 29, that shouldn't say 29.95, that should say 29.65. On the 1st of October, I ate 2,965 calories, but my calories out for that day is 2,300 calories a day. Jerome, how do you know that you burn 2,300 calories a day? Because I use something called a TDEE calculator. It isn't the most accurate, but neither is 3,500 calories for a pound of body fat. I just use these rough estimates to give myself a goal to achieve and push through. But as we look at this, right, you'll see that every single day, my body burns calories, 2,300 calories per day. And every day I'm either taking calories in or I'm fasting, meaning that the number of calories in doesn't change. If you look at where it's highlighted in green and red, that is my caloric balance, meaning I am either on track to lose 10,500 calories for the month of October, or I'm off track. And you'll notice that there are some that are highlighted in red where I'm on track, but you'll also notice that every single day, the calorie pace continues, because every day I have to try to be at a caloric deficit of 339 calories to meet the goal by the end of the month of October. If you look at October 8th, the very last, you'll see I have now taken in 14,271 calories and I have burned about 8,400. So now that's left me with a balance of 4,100 calories that my body has burned. I'm way over pace, because right now that pace should be at around 2,700 calories. I'm currently at 4,100. So in the last 8 days, I have burned about 1.2 pounds of body fat. Is it accurate to a T? No, it isn't, but it's a good rough estimate. How do I know that it's working? The number is pushing itself down on the scale. I'm in the low 140s now. I'm about to break into the 130s. I also know because my small clothes fit pretty well. But obviously, I've been tracking a lot longer than this too. In the last 78 days, as I've been doing these daily live streams, I've been recording my calories. So let's just do a really big outlook at this. In the last 78 days, I have taken in about 147,000 calories. I have burned about 179,000 calories. So in the last 78 days, I have put myself in a 32,000 caloric deficit. By the end of October, they should be somewhere closer to 40,000 calorie deficit. But in the last 78 days, I have burned about 9.2 pounds of body fat. That's a lot of body fat. So even though I have lost about 30 pounds on the scale over the last 78 days, it's 30 pounds on the scale, but it's really 9 pounds of body fat, which is, for me, the bigger indicator of success, because I don't really care what the scale says. I'm more interested in, am I continuing to lose body fat and am I building muscle? Let's not forget, the more muscle I build, the more muscle I gain, the scale isn't going to push itself down. So I can't look at the scale as the be all end all. I'm more concerned about am I losing the excess body fat on my stomach? And I guess that's a really good segue to talk about Fit Check. Those are all my nerd stats for the day. Today, we're going to do Fit Check as I do every day. Fit Check's when I stand back here and I show you what I look like physically. So you'll see me right now. I'm wearing an extra small shirt. This is one of my smaller shirts that I'm wearing. I'm also wearing this shirt because the Cubs won yesterday. I don't know if Letty is here, but Letty, we won yesterday. Cubs won yesterday. So I'm wearing the shirt in honor of that. But before we do Fit Check, as I always do, we'll share some photos here. This is me as a little kid. I've been overweight my entire life. As a child, as an adolescent, in my teenage years, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. I have been not just overweight, but obese and morbidly obese my entire life. I share that because it's not like I just lost, or it's not like I just gained this weight recently. It's not like I was just morbidly obese in my 40s. I was morbidly obese in my 20s. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when I was 22. I probably even had it younger than that. I just refused to go to the doctor. I share all of those photos though, because it's to show you that as somebody who has been overweight, obese, morbidly obese his entire life, I've been able to lose that weight and keep it off now for almost 2 years. Not through medication, not through GLP-1, not through injections, not through weight loss surgery, but through fasting, through good, healthy habits. Again, I say this because many of us might be in a place where we think that we won't be able to lose the weight. Maybe you're like, I'm also 40 something. I'm also 30 something. And I don't think I'm ever going to lose this weight. I just want you to know that there is somebody who has been able to do it without resorting to anything else. And again, I'm not saying that you don't need medication. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look into GLP-1 or weight loss surgery. All I'm saying is I've been able to do this naturally, even as I'm 44 years old or will be 45 years old soon. And so if you feel like you've lost hope, I just want you to know that all hope isn't lost. If you know that you have bad habits, it just might be time to start making small changes to get yourself back on track. Letty, of course, I mentioned Letty, and Letty drops a $2 super chat. Letty, thank you for the support. Letty with the $2 super chat that says, yay, go Cubs. Definitely. I'm so happy for my Cubs that we took one. I honestly was afraid that we were going to get swept, but maybe it's a change. Maybe the Cubs can still really pull it through. So we'll see. So anyway, Letty, I just love that. I call Letty out and Letty drops a donation. Letty, thank you for the $2 super chat. Okay, everyone, let's go ahead. Let's do Fit Check. So again, I am wearing an extra small shirt. I used to wear XLs, double XLs, adult shirts, and now I wear boys' clothes or very small men's clothes because, well, one, I'm short. I'm only 5'3", so even this extra small shirt is a little long on me, and I'm wearing boys' pants, as you can see here by the drawstring. These pants, I think, are like 12, 14, or 14, 16. I can't remember, but we'll go ahead. We'll do Fit Check. So front shot, and you can see the shirt's longer than I want it to be. Like I wish the shirt wasn't all the way. I wish the shirt would like end higher up, but you know, what are you gonna do? Front shot, side, rear, side. And so This shirt I'm wearing underneath is not a compression shirt. This is like a thermal shirt to keep me warm because it's cold out. But it kind of works like a compression shirt. It's still, I always point at this. This is what I'm trying to get rid of, everyone. This is where I'm guessing the rest of my fat is, or at least the excess body fat. I believe it's here in the belly area. Um, I do feel like I'm pretty lean everywhere else. So I'm just hoping I'm at a point now where the remainder of this excess body fat is on my stomach. I mean, I guess it could be elsewhere, but I can't pick and choose where I want the fat to go. I also don't know if it's just all body fat. It could also be loose skin because I do have loose skin. I don't have a ton, but it's probably a combination of the two. So we'll see at the end of October where I'm at when I put myself at an 11,000 caloric deficit or 10,500. So that's pretty much fit check. Hi, Aisha. I see you on. Nice to see you. Happy Bunny. Look at you. Look at you. I'm on my way to the gym. Not sure what I'll do there. All the barriers for not going were in my head. There you go. There you go. And here's the thing. I think once you go and once you get like that anxiety of going out of the way, you'll start to realize, yeah, this is just a normal thing. Remember, nobody cares. I used to go there even when I was my heaviest, because you all saw it at the beginning of my journey when I was at my heaviest. I would go and I was so worried that everyone was looking at me. And it took me a long time to realize that nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, I don't know if that's what is going through your head, if there's a little anxiety when it comes to that. But if anything, Happy Bunny, just go take a look at maybe a couple machines if you're not used to it. Lift light, just start slow. Make sure your form is good. Check videos on YouTube about how to use dumbbells, or if you're just going to hop on a machine, or maybe you're just going to do some cardio. And you don't have to live at the gym. You don't have to go super hard either. That's a really good piece of advice that I can give you. If it's your first time going or you haven't gone in a while, all that matters is you show up and you get familiar with how some of this works. And even if it's just 10 minutes or 15 minutes to familiarize yourself with how some of that works, then that's all you do. And then you can, even with what I do, I usually go home, I watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how to use some of the machines or how to do some lifts. And then I use that to help me the next time I go to the gym. Hope you have a good time there, Happy Bunny. Thank you for sharing with us. Proud of you for using this as motivation to go and do that. I love that for you. Keep us posted, Happy Bunny. Keep us posted. Hi, Gloria. I don't know if I said hi. Did I? Thank you, Gloria, for the kind words. We're all trying to get rid of belly fat. I know. I want mine gone. I want it gone. But it takes time. It just doesn't work that way. Maria says, hi, how long have you been fasting? Hi, Maria. Nice to see you. I've been fasting since I did my first fast in 2018. I did, was it 11 or 12 days? 11 or 12-day fast. I don't even remember anymore. But I did a fast out of the blue. And it's funny because even after I did that, I gained all the weight back because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know how to fast for shorter. I didn't know how to refeed properly. But I really didn't start fasting regularly until 2019. So in 2019 is when I had started doing rolling 90s, meaning I would fast for 90 hours and then eat for 4 or 5 hours. How did I get that 90-hour fasting time? Did somebody tell me to do that? Nope. I figured that out on my own just through trial and error. And then from 2019 to 2021, I went from around 235 pounds at my heaviest down to 125. And then in the middle of 2021, I gained all the weight back. Why did I gain all the weight back? Because I stopped being accountable. I stopped posting on YouTube. I felt ashamed and embarrassed and felt guilty. And then I came back in late 2023, 2+ years later, with all the weight gained. And I came back on YouTube and I lost the weight in record time in less than 5 months. And I've kept it off since. So it's been almost 2 years. I know that's a long-winded way to answer that, but hopefully that's helpful, Maria. Hi, Elle. Nice to see you. What's going on, George? George, what's going on? Nice to see you. Hello, hello. Oh, Aisha says here too. I'm up 4 to 6 pounds from yesterday morning's weight. My morning weight today is 190. I'm not stressing. I'm glad you're not stressing, even though I plan to refeed tomorrow afternoon. Then I'm going to roll into a 5-day fast. Thank you for sharing with us, Aisha. Thank you for being transparent in that way. Also, proud of you for saying, I'm not stressing out about it. Also, remember, the weight is going to do what it wants to do. The scale is going to say what it wants to say. You just have to keep reminding yourself, am I practicing good, healthy habits? Am I doing what I need to do? And I know you are. I know you are. Thank you for sharing with us. All right, everyone. I am also going to take any other questions you might have. So if you want to ask questions, please feel free. If there's anything that you wanted to chime in and say, please feel free. I'll take a couple minutes and talk to you all. In the meantime, while you might have questions, maybe you might not, and we might call it. But in the meantime, if any of you are looking for additional help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, if you're looking for an accountability partner or an accountability coach, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. It's very easy to do the good things. We all know what it takes to lose weight. It isn't rocket science. A lot of it is common knowledge. Don't get wrapped up into fasting a certain way and that's the only way to do it. Eating a certain way and that's the only way to do it. If you've been around for a while, you probably know that a lot of this is still calories in, calories out, being mindful, eating clean, exercising, working on good sleep, and figuring out the emotional part of it. Are you an emotional eater? Are you a stress eater? And how to handle things when it comes to that. I do feel like the missing piece for many people is the accountability, showing up. And that's why I have these accountability live streams. That's why I'll highlight when people share their journey. I think it's that important to me because I know that accountability is important to many of us. So please continue to show up here for accountability. But if you're looking for an extra level of accountability, if you want to do something one-on-one and have a conversation about it, finallyfasting.com, book a session, we can have a conversation and go from there. Also, for anybody who might want to support in a different way, if you go to the link in this live stream, you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. If you become part of the Finally Fasting fam, you'll get a badge next to your name. I do believe you get a different color on your name in chat. You get to use custom emoji like this F, or you could use, well, actually, it's a combination. It's that, and it's just a way to support. If you join us on our higher tier, you'll join us on our Wednesday night live streams. We had one yesterday. Those are always great because it's not just me on camera. Other people hop on, other people share their stories. It's, again, another level of accountability. If you're interested in that, just take a look at the link in the live stream. Take a look at the link in the description of this live stream is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that's all I got. Maria says, how did you think of multiplying by 3? Are you talking about my fasting time? That's actually multiplied by 4 because that's closer to a 96. I was doing on average 93 hours, but it's not that I was multiplying it by a certain number. It was more so I was figuring out how much I typically eat. And back then, I was eating 7,000 calories per refeed. I was eating a lot per refeed. I can still eat that much per refeed. But the difference then to now is what I would I was fasting for that long because that's how long it took for me to fast to continue to lose weight, even eating 6,000 or 7,000 calories. Now I don't fast for that long because I'm at a place at this point where I can eat less. I can keep the calories down and I don't have to fast for as long. So that's pretty much how I came up with that number. I'm not saying you have to fast for 90 hours. All I'm trying to say is you have to figure out a number that works for you, and don't be tied to that number. It doesn't mean that once you figure out a number that that's the only number you're going to do for the rest of your life. You should also realize that that number might fluctuate. Some days you might not be doing a 33 or a 40, whatever. Some days you might be invited to go out and you're going to have a shorter fast. All that means then is you have to work on your other weight loss levers, whether it's your eating, your exercise, so on and so forth. Margaret asks, what time is the live stream for tomorrow? Aisha also asks, what time do you plan on live streaming tomorrow, Jerome? Great questions, Margaret and Aisha. I love that they're both being asked on different platforms. I have a pretty busy day tomorrow, so let me take a look, actually. Okay, I'm actually going to put some time down now. Actually, we'll probably do it around the same time. Today was around 1:30. I'm going to say anywhere between 1 and 2 p.m. So I'm setting that now. 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central is my guess. Okay, I already blocked that time off. Okay. Thank you for asking, Margaret and Aisha. For the Good says, going to a concert in 3 hours, broke my fast this morning with a big bowl of Greek yogurt, headed to a diner before the concert. Enjoy the concert. Congrats on a clean refeed. It sounds like really clean. So I love that. I love that for the Good. Keep us posted on how the refeed goes. Hopefully it continues to stay clean for you for the Good. Enjoy the time. Have a good time. That's also, you know what? That's also a really good call out is, for me, if I was going to a concert or doing something social, it's hard for me to eat clean. So it takes a lot to do that too. But that's also a reminder that if you're going out to a social event, it doesn't mean that you have to eat dirty either. It means that you can still enjoy yourself and keep it clean if you can. It's not something I think about though. I guess automatically, I'm going to a Cubs game, I'm going to eat everything. I'm going out with friends tonight, I'm going to eat everything. But that's me. So it might differ from person to person. And for the Good is sharing that, going out to a concert, but still going to keep it clean. I love that for you. Yes, Shauna, about the same as today. Ian says, is there a Discord server for Finally Fasting? I used to have a Discord. I don't have one anymore, only because, one, there's no way I could probably keep up with moderating it. But if you all are looking for a place to actually still talk to each other when I'm not doing these dailies, because eventually, let's be real here. I'm not going to be doing dailies forever. Eventually, this is going to taper off. So I really hope you all enjoy these. I will try to do them regularly, but when I move, I obviously won't be live streaming when I'm on the airplane because it's about a 20+ hour flight. But I did think about bringing a Discord server back where people can talk to each other. And what I was actually thinking of doing was having a Discord server if you were part of the Finally Fasting fam. For people, I don't know, I was looking at that as a perk, but at this point, I don't have anything. I know other people try to have a community and talk to each other, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't know, maybe something I'll bring back again in the future, or if it's something that you're all interested in, then I could look into it. Miss Peaceful One with a $5 super chat. Miss Peaceful One, thank you for your continued support. Miss Peaceful One is always supporting. I appreciate you. Miss Peaceful One with a $5 super chat says, thank you all for adding to such a beautiful community. I couldn't agree more. I'm so proud of what this community has turned into. I'm so proud of so many of you who are coming here every day and sharing your story with us to see what your progress looks like. It's so meaningful to me. It really helps me too in doing what I do. Thank you, Jerome, for creating it and being so kind. You're very welcome, but that goes both ways. So many of you who are here right now as equally are as equally as kind, and I see it in chat and so helpful, and I couldn't appreciate it more, or I couldn't be thankful enough for that. We appreciate you for showing up. Of course, that goes both ways. Miss Peaceful One, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I appreciate you again. Thank you. Deja says watching mukbangs right now, and that was not a good option. I want everything. See, it's the opposite effect for me. For me, if I watch other people eat, I don't know, it does something in my brain. It's like, okay, you're good now. It's like I have to end up watching like 4 or 5 in a row before I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got my fill. I don't know. It's weird in that way. But I also watch people who competitively eat, and I watch people who eat in variety. I don't like when somebody just eats like one big burger. I want to watch someone eat a burger and a bunch of other food and a bunch of dessert. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird for me. And again, it goes to show how it's different for so many other people. Thanks, Shauna, for the kind words too. Okay, I think that's it. I was just kind of reading through it. Aisha said you're probably going to miss tomorrow's live stream. No worries. I know you'll still show up regardless, so please keep us posted. Elle says I can help moderate. I'll take a look. I haven't. It's been so long since I've used Discord, but if I added it, everybody who is a Finally Fasting fam member would immediately get access to it, because I think YouTube can actually filter that out on who gets to use it and whatnot. So I'll take a look. Okay. I think that's it for me today. I am refeeding tonight. I'm very excited about my refeed. What am I going to be eating tonight? It's probably going to be no surprise. It's going to be very similar. I'm going to film everything because I need to for accountability. And I think that's all I got. We'll do this again tomorrow. No worries, Blessed Life. Blessed Life says, I just watched a lot of strength training videos of people working out instead of mukbangs. There's a guy on YouTube called Jim Jungkook. I wrote this because I saw you guys talking about mukbangs. Thanks for sharing, Blessed Life. I've never heard of them, but maybe something to check out. Okay, I think that's it. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for sharing your journey with me. Thank you for sharing your journey with others. Thank you for being kind and supportive to everyone in here. A very special thanks to Letty and to Miss Peaceful One with the extra donations. I appreciate this. I appreciate the additional support. You can tell I'm probably talking too much at this point. I need a drink. So thank you both for the additional support today. Thank you to all my Finally Fasting fam members. Thank you for supporting me in that additional way as well. And thank you to all my regulars. Thank you to everyone who shows up every day and sharing with us. It means a lot to me. There's a reason I highlight these things. There's a reason I answer questions, because I want people to be successful. I want people to figure things out. I also want people to realize you don't have to blindly follow one specific way of doing anything. You don't have to spend a ton of money when it comes to losing weight. Remember, everyone, fasting doesn't cost you anything. Fasting is free. You don't have to spend money to fast. You want to lose weight the fastest way possible? Fast. Eat 0 calories. There's no other faster way of doing it. That's the fastest way to lose weight. Easy. Not easy to do per se, but if you're thinking about the most uncomplicated way of losing weight, body fat, fast, 0 calories. Doesn't cost you anything, completely free. Sometimes we lose sight of that because I think we get hung up on, I don't know, there's a lot of bullshit out there. And sometimes I feel like, let me cut through that bullshit and let's just speak the truth and speak to what I have personally experienced and what I have found successful. Okay, that's all I got, everyone. I appreciate you being here today. I'm going to do my obligatory wave. There you go. I'll see you tomorrow. Continue to show up. Will you be here? Hopefully I'll see you then. Okay. All right, everyone. Take care. See ya. Bye.